Your time has expired. Senator Hanson-Young.
Thank you. Well, the war is just getting started and it is already wreaking havoc right across the world, including here in Australia. And before I go much further, Mr Deputy President, let us point out the Greens are the only political party in this country that opposed this war from the beginning and opposed Australia getting involved. And now we see the vast majority of Australians agree with us. They don't want anything to do with this bloody war of Mr Trump's. They don't want Australia to be involved, and they certainly don't want to see any more of its pain inflicted on us here. Because it is Australians who are now paying the price of Donald Trump's war and the war that has been backed by the war parties in this place, by One Nation, by the National Party, by the Liberal Party, by the Labor government. These war parties backed the war, and it is now inflicting pain and suffering, not just on the innocent people in the Middle East, but on everyday Australians going about their business. Our government was one of the first governments to back Donald Trump's war. And you cannot, in good honesty, in good conscience, look at what has happened over the last 4 weeks and say that was a good decision. It was a stupid decision. It was a dumb decision. Australia should not have swung in behind Donald Trump's attempts to bomb Iran into smithereens. Of course, this war was going to erupt. Tensions would escalate, and what has happened over the last month has now ensured. People are struggling to pay for basic costs of living. People's mortgages have gone up. People's petrol prices have gone up. We're now looking at whether people's rubbish is even going to be collected because of the cost of diesel for the trucks. And as this crisis deepens, it won't just be the cost of energy that pushes households to the brink. Our food supply may very well soon be impacted too. And who urged Mr Donald Trump to take this irresponsible action? Well, none other than Mr Rupert Murdoch. That's what reports out this week are showing. That the media mogul, once an Australian, now an American, urged the President of the United States to bomb Iran. I mean, this sickening attitude and entitlement of men like Rupert Murdoch and Donald Trump to think their war games should just go ahead without any thought of consequence for what that means for the real people on the ground and around the world. Innocent civilians in the Middle East, the school children, the schoolgirls who were the first who died and were bombed by the United States. The tens of thousands of families in Lebanon who are now displaced, frightened and hungry. The thousands of innocent civilians who have already been killed. And then you don't have to go much beyond the borders of the Middle East to see this devastating war and its effects rippling across the globe. War sells newspapers. Bad news sells newspapers. Wars sell newspapers. It sells media subscriptions. And of course, whipping up fear, division, hate boosts the profits of people like Mr Murdoch. And of course, not just the old school media moguls, but the social media moguls as well. So while Mr Murdoch and Mr Zuckerberg sit back making massive profits The big fossil fuel companies making huge profits off blood money created from this war. It's regular people who are paying the price. And no wonder Australians are so opposed. Polling out today shows that 3/4 of Australians strongly oppose this war. They don't want it. They don't like it. They don't want anything to do with it. 2/3 of Australians think the Albanese government should never have sent the warplanes to the Middle East. And of course, in America, the people of the United States disapprove with this war as well. New polling out today shows 61% of Americans disapprove of Donald Trump's actions in Iran and in the Middle East. In fact, almost half of Americans are worried that this war is going to make the world and them less safe. And they're right. They are less safe because of what Donald Trump has done. And Mr. Trump, after blowing up the international rules-based order, is now digging in his heels, refusing to see the pain and suffering that his bloody actions are having on everybody else. He is behaving like a spoilt brat. A spoilt brat who's just trashed his room, thrown his dinner on the floor, and then is still demanding dessert. He's behaving like a man-child. But it's serious, because this is having real-life impacts on everybody. The international and the domestic crisis runs deep. This war has caused the worst disruption of travel since COVID. Jetstar's just announced they're cutting flights to New Zealand because of the fuel shortage created from Donald Trump's war. Countries across Asia have announced they've had to cut the amount of days people can go to work because of the crisis. The Philippines have declared a national emergency because of the pain that Donald Trump's war is having on them. Australia Post here in our country contacted their customers yesterday saying that they are having to triple the fees for postage and delivery services. That means a huge impact on businesses right across our country. Small businesses, middle-sized businesses, big businesses. Everyone else is paying the price of Donald Trump's war. And yet we have the parties in this place, the Labor Party, the Liberal Party, the National Party, Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party, all backing this war and saying the pain is okay. Well, it's not okay. And you can't complain about the cost of living crisis that this war has plunged Australians in while you still back Donald Trump's actions. You've got to pick a side. And if 4 weeks on, if you can't see how devastating, how stupid, how dumb-minded this decision to start this war, to back this war was, then you don't deserve the respect of the Australian people, because you're not being honest with them. And I say this particularly about One Nation. One Nation is clearly very friendly with Mr. Trump. Their leader, Pauline Hanson, hangs out at his place in Miami. They're friends. They hang out together, they support each other. They've got a mutual friend, of course, in Gina Rinehart. And they all back this war. which is causing pain and suffering to everybody else.
Thank you.